Welcome back to this week's edition of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and one of the world's biggest sporting events is still moving along, so we will start there. The World Cup has been incredible so far, with some wild finishes to some matches and some big upsets. Unfortunately, the U.S. men's national team was eliminated this past week. The U.S. came up short against the Netherlands, losing 3-1. Although it's not the ending we wanted, it's still great to see the team make it to this big of a stage and perform well enough to advance to the round that they did. The Netherlands now moves on to play Argentina today at 11 a.m., and the major matchup between Brazil and Croatia began today at 7 a.m., so a winner may have already been crowned. Tomorrow, the much-anticipated matchup between France and England begins at 11 a.m., while Morocco faces off against the powerhouse Portugal at 7 a.m. In the round of 16, Morocco upset Spain after regulation ended with the score tied 0-0. The match would go into a second extra time and then into penalty kicks where Morocco would make 3 of theirs and Spain would not score any. I don't know a whole lot about soccer, but I'm going to make a bold prediction and claim that Brazil will be crowned champions this year. The games are on now and throughout this weekend, with the semifinals beginning early next week, so be sure to tune in to all the action as this event only comes around every 4 years. Speaking of soccer and exciting matches, the UCLA women's soccer team became national champions this week. On Monday night against the North Carolina Tar Heels, UCLA trailed 2-0 with little time left remaining in the second half. Miraculously, the Bruins would score twice in the final 10 minutes to force the match into overtime. UCLA would score again in the second overtime and would pull off one of the most improbable victories to earn their program its second national title. The Bruins became the first women's soccer program in NCAA history to win the title with a first-year head coach, and they were also the first team to come back from a 2-goal deficit to win the national title. This is just one of those moments that makes you love sports even more. While the national title game for women's soccer is complete, the road to the national championship for college football has been set. After devastating losses by both TCU and USC last weekend, USC has been eliminated from the playoffs, while TCU still remains in the picture. The final 4 teams are Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and Ohio State. Number 1 Georgia will square off against number 4 Ohio State in the Peach Bowl, while number 2 Michigan will take on number 3 TCU in the Fiesta Bowl. Both of these games will take place on New Year's Eve, and the winners will play in the championship on January 9th at SoFi Stadium in LA. While all of these games should be great matchups, I do think Georgia will come out as champions again this year. In the pros, it was a pretty eventful week in the NFL. The Rams surprisingly picked up Baker Mayfield after he was released from Carolina. The Cowboys scored 33 points in the fourth quarter to beat the Colts by 35. 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo sustained a pretty serious foot injury, and the Bucs pulled off another classic Tom Brady comeback victory on Monday night. On top of all that, we got another tie. The Commanders and Giants tied on Sunday after neither team scored over 20 points, and of course, that game's the only reason I didn't go 4-0 in my picks this week. So I am now 28-11-1. For this week, I'm going with the Cowboys over Houston, the Bills to beat the Jets, Miami to win against the Chargers, and the Chiefs to coast against the division rival Broncos. Football season is quickly coming to an end, and the World Cup is wrapping up, but the NBA and NHL are still early in their seasons, and there are still plenty of sports to enjoy every week. Enjoy the weekend filled with all of these big events, and I'll see you right back here next Friday with more news and updates. I'm Cole Young. Have a great weekend.